What's going on? This is your favorite speaker, Britton Harvest. I'm coming to you all because we have an event coming up this Saturday. Leto Lounge, 2 o'clock. Rocket City Speaks. I, along with some other great speakers, will be in attendance. $15 admission. That does include your meal. But the information that will be shared this Saturday is invaluable. You want to be in attendance. If you live in the Huntsville area or surrounding areas, you want to be in attendance. But what I want to speak to you all about today, because, I'm excited. I love speaking. I love giving part of myself to any of you as long as it can help you out. I love giving back. That's what Random Acts of Kindness is all about. So tonight, because I was thinking about this, leaving my son's basketball practice, and I said, well, B, you haven't spoken to them about the 3 Ps yet. And so, I'm thinking to myself, because I answer myself also, I'm like, you know what? I haven't. So this video is going to be about the 3 Ps. Incorporate these 3 Ps in your life. You have no choice but to become successful. Incorporate these 3 Ps into your daily habits. You have no choice but to become successful. Use these 3 Ps to get you where you are trying to go. Because the first P, first order of business, is patience. You have to learn to embrace patience. You have to learn that when you are trying to get to another level in life, it's not going to happen overnight. I did not become a certified speaker overnight. It took time. It took for me to become patient. It took for me to study the great speakers that came before me. And by studying the great speakers that came before me, I in turn learned to discipline my thoughts. I in turn learned to still the body and move my mind. Because once you still the body and move the mind, your mind gravitates you to wherever it is that you need to be at that particular time based on the coordinates of the universe. See, you can't move your body and still your mind. Because once your mind is still, it's dormant. And once it's dormant, it's not taking in information. Once it's dormant, it's not firing off like it's supposed to be firing off. See, you have to still the body, then move the mind. Because once you move the mind, it will position you to be exactly where you need to be when you need to be there. But that's going to require patience. That's not going to happen overnight. You can't wake up in the morning, snap your fingers and say, hey, I want to become an engineer. There's a process. And through that process, you have to embrace patience. Once you embrace patience and learn to enjoy the scenic route and quit trying to take the shortcut, you'll be successful. Still the body. Move the mind. Second P, persistence. You have to become persistent. You can't just do it every other week. You can't just do it every other month. When you wake up in the morning, you have to have the same routine, same habits each and every day. You have to be persistent. You can't do it on a Monday, then on a Friday you decide, I don't want to do it anymore. You can't do it on a Tuesday, then on a Saturday you decide, I don't think this is what I really want to do. You have to be persistent because you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. You don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. And if you are persistent, it will show. If you are patient, it will show. There are no shortcuts in life, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of you want to read the cheat code. All of a sudden you think you want to master what it is that you're trying to do. It doesn't work like that. You have to be patient and you have to be persistent. You have to see it through. No matter what. You can't take the no's and all of a sudden allow the no's to stop you from doing what it is that you're trying to do. You have a lot of people that are on jobs right now currently. They can't stand it. You have a lot of people that are working for bosses that they can't stand. But you have to ask yourself this. What are you doing to change that? What are you doing to prepare yourself for the next level in life? What are you doing to position yourself to say, hey, I know right now I'm not happy, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to make the best of this opportunity so that I can prepare myself for the next opportunity that's right around the corner. What are you doing to prepare yourself for that opportunity? Because it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. What are you doing? You have to be honest with yourself. You can't sit around and complain and say, well, you know what? My boss doesn't like me. You can't sit around and whine and say, you know what? They're hating on me. They really don't want me to succeed. Because if you're in a position to where you don't like where you are right now, you can do one or two things. You either adapt to your environment or you change your environment. If you're a big fish in a small pond, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to change ponds. Guess what you're going to have to do? You might deserve to be in the ocean. But regardless of the fact, you either adapt to your environment or you change your environment. But you have to be persistent. It's not going to happen overnight. You can't just wake up, snap your fingers, and say, hey, I want to become an engineer. You can't just wake up, snap your fingers, and say, hey, I want to be a superintendent. You can't just wake up, snap your fingers, and two-step. I'm joking. It doesn't happen overnight. You have to prepare yourself for that next opportunity. You don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. And that leads me to the third P, perseverance. You have to persevere. You have to become deeply rooted. And if you're asking me or asking yourself, how do you become deeply rooted? I'll tell you how you become deeply rooted. Those same habits that you do every day, like clockwork, that's how you become deeply rooted. You have to develop good habits. When you wake up in the morning, I'm going to give you all my routine. I wake up in the morning. First thing I do, before I check social media, before I check the news, I really don't watch the news, but before I check the news, social media, etc., ESPN News, you name it, I listen to something positive. Whether I'm listening to something positive, whether I'm reading something positive, whether I am actually doing something positive, when I wake up first thing in the morning, I'm on to something positive. I'm all about positivity. I'm trying to insulate myself and prepare myself for what's to come. I just got through dreaming. My body is recharged. My body was still. My mind was all over the place. Ain't no telling what galaxy I was on when I was asleep. Ain't no telling what dimension I was on when I was asleep. Astral projection. Look it up. But what I do know is this. Now that I am awake, now that my soul has re-entered the body, now that I can go on and do my daily task, I want to start off with something positive. I want to deeply root myself to prepare myself for the winds that are to come. There are going to be some 100-mile-per-hour winds coming your way. And if you're not deeply rooted, you're not going to stand. If you're not deeply rooted, you're not going to make it. If you're not deeply rooted, you're going to be displaced. But if you practice those good habits of starting off first thing in the morning with something positive, you insulate yourself for what's to come. You fortify yourself for what's to come, because the rocks are going to be thrown your way. The stones are going to be thrown your way. But when you insulate yourself, you take those same rocks and those same stones and you build with it. You take those same rocks and those same stones, Pyramid of Giza. You take those same rocks and those same stones, Stonehenge. You see, there are a lot of structures around the world that, to this day, man has no idea how they were built and actually how long they've been there. So you take the stones that are thrown your way, build with the stones that were meant to destroy you, fortify yourself with the rocks that were meant to destroy you. You in turn build a structure that they are in amazement with. They are looking at you in awe. They're wondering how you weathered the storm. They're wondering how you had so many chinks in your armor and you still stand. It's because of the 3 P's. Patience, persistence, perseverance. Hashtag breadcrumbs. Hashtag random acts of kindness. Hashtag Gigi. I am your favorite speaker, Britton Harvest. This Saturday, Leto Lounge, 2 o'clock. Huntsville will never be the same. Rocket City Speaks. I love you. And with that being said, I'm out.